Supervisor Parlin, it's 10 a.m. I've gone ahead and unmuted the room.
All right, very good. I'm going to call to order the special meeting of the El Dorado County Board of Supervisors for Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. And just wish I could be there with you guys, but I caught the crud and I figured you'd appreciate me not sharing it with everyone right so close to Christmas. So Vice Chair Thomas is ready to help me navigate the room if anything isn't obvious from here. So with that, reminder that on special meetings, we don't have open forum and we do not do invocation. So with that, Vice Chair Thomas, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Be happy to. Please join me in honoring our nation's flag. Hand over your heart, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so kind of a short agenda today. And we only have one item for discussion, and that's department matter number 3. So
Supervisor Parlin, do you
I
think
have to adopt the agenda. I
Yes,
just
thank
was
you.
looking at my blue sheet. Thank you for that. Does anyone have any changes?
None.
Nope.
No,
We're
no
good.
changes.
Very
So-
good. Anyone want to
Oh,
move to
adoption of
adopt?
the agenda.
Second,
I guess we have to
And
do
then-
public input though, right? Is that correct?
We have to do a roll call vote.
Okay, no, well, just roll call. Oh, yep, got it.
Supervisor Turnbull, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Hydall, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Thomas, how do you vote?
aye.
Supervisor Novacell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Parlin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Adoption agenda passes 5-0.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I was looking at my blue sheet and I went, got ahead of myself. So now we can move on to department matter, item number 3.
Item number 3 comes from the Sheriff's Office recommending the board, 1, increase the cost of the helicopter on fiscal year 22-23 fixed asset list due to taxes related to this purchase. 2, make a finding that the purchase from Airbus helicopters is exempt from competitive bidding per purchasing ordinance. 3, authorize the undersheriff to sign the used purchase agreement. 4, authorize the purchasing agent to process a purchase order. And 5, authorize the auditor to provide a deposit of $150,000 due upon signature of the used purchase agreement and prior to December 31st, 2022.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning. My turn.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Board Sheriff John DeAugustini. This is pretty simple. I think it's there's still no increase in any general fund or anything like that. It's still coming out of our restricted fund balances. As was stated, this is an increase in the taxes that we hadn't planned for. We thought that we were exempt, but we're not. Back and forth through Florida. This helicopter that we've located is in Seminole County, Florida. It is used, but it is in perfect shape. It meets all of our mission requirements. It already comes with the hoist, bamboo bucket, FLIR, radio, everything. It's ready to go. It will not be able to be delivered until probably around next September or October. And that is because it is currently going to go through a full refit, one of which is a new engine. Hence the deposit. That deposit is what it is so that we don't incur any increases in costs for that engine refit.
Okay. Vice Chair Thomas, can you navigate the room there and see if there's any questions from the board, please?
Okay, absolutely. Board have any questions on this item? Yes.
I do. Sheriff, I was noting in the sales tax provision that there was an exemption that says the aircraft requires repairs, additions, or alterations, and it will immediately be taken to a repair facility and will be removed from Florida within 20 days after completion of the work. So if they complete the work and then we take it out of the state of Florida within 20 days, it would seem we could claim that exemption for sales tax. Is that not true?
Well, that's what we were hoping, but no, apparently it's not. And part of it is it's not going, it's not staying in Florida. To my understanding, it is going to Airbus for some of the refit, and then possibly back down to Southern California to Hangar 1 before it is delivered to us. So, but the bottom line is no, we are not going to be exempt from the taxes as I understood it.
Because the other provision says the aircraft will be removed from Florida within 10 days of the date of purchase. And if it's going to go out of state, it would seem that it could be moved within 10 days of the date of purchase to accommodate that, so we don't have to pay the additional $225,000 in sales tax.
Yeah, but that won't be, well, I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that, Monica or Brian?
Actually, we have Sue Henneke here, Chair Parlin,
Thank you.
offer some explanations.
I think I can explain, but certainly Monica or Brian can help out. I believe what we're paying is the California use tax. So the whole provision, so we don't have to pay the Florida tax as long as we meet all their provisions, but we still have to pay the use tax on the California side.
Thank you for that, because
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
read it that
helpful.
way. I read it as sales tax in Florida
Yeah.
because we were provided a sales tax provision. So, okay, I
Thank you,
understand
Sue.
now.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Sue.
clarifying that. I appreciate it.
Have any other further questions, Supervisor Heidel?
No, I was real pleased with the warranty provisions. Obviously, it's a completely rebuilt engine and a lot of other things, but it looked like between the warranty provisions provided for the other changes that are made, as well as the inspection, it looks like it's a good package. We should get a lot of durability and reliability, at least for the first full year.
Absolutely.
And if we take obviously the proper maintenance steps, we should go much, much further than that. So I'm very pleased with this overall. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Supervisor Turnbull?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. We need it because especially you can't put a price on public safety. And it's a big issue, especially with the Caldor fire, you know, that if we could have got on that fire right away, we would have probably been a lot more successful. We wouldn't have lost Grizzly Flat. So that's my opinion.
We have a vast and diverse county.
Right, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. This makes a lot of sense. I just have one more clarifying question, Sheriff, that, and just really for the public's sake, that I understand that if, as we take this action today, even though it's an increase in cost of a couple $100,000, we are going to be saving $120,000 to $170,000 on the potential increases on the engine. If we didn't take this action today, we would be incurring that additional cost as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, all right. So that makes a lot of sense too. All right, thank you. No further board questions. Are you ready for public comments?
Just checking in with Supervisor Novosel. Just to make
Oh, I'm
sure
so
you
sorry,
can.
Supervisor
No,
Novosel.
That's okay. No, I don't have any questions. They were all answered. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for those questions. It was spot on. Same things I was wondering. So thank you for that clarification, everyone. Yes, please do public comment, please.
Now taking public comment on item number 3, individuals will have 3 minutes to address the board. The timer will notify you when you have 30 seconds remaining to comment. Public comment will be taken first from those participating in the boardroom and then from those participating through Zoom. For those participating by Zoom, please make sure you unmute yourself when called upon. If you're joining the meeting by phone, press *9 to indicate a desire to comment. If you're joining by Zoom, press the raise hand button. Please voluntarily state your name for the record.
Good morning to the board. Just here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you turn the mic on right there? Right.
The
right in
button
front
on
of-
the
The green
microphone
button
down
on
the
the
bottom.
Down at the
Down
bottom, Brian.
Yeah, right down. There you
I'm
go.
not used to
Should
talking
go-
like
Yeah, I
this.
understand.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody. I know most of you know who I am, but I'm here to pose opposition to this helicopter. I really am. First, what's left of this county, we burned almost, probably in my opinion, and I've been commented that sometimes my should say opinions back, has burned. Okay. The sheriff is saying we needed to fight fire. The fighting fire is in the jurisdiction of the fire departments. He is only going to be another person up there running around with a helicopter. I don't think they need to be there. He also says it's for high-speed chases. He's stepping in another domain, which is the California Highway Patrol. He's not going to use it on any of our well-maintained county roads out here because they're not equipped for high-speed chases. I really think it's a waste of money. It started at $3.1 million for a used one. Now it's increased to another 3.3 million. And what I heard yesterday at the taxpayers meeting, we have to pay an additional $1 million for a new motor for it. Why are we buying something and then having to repair it after it's already supposed to be in good shape. Maybe we're saying 170,000 in sales tax. I really think that just the helicopter is unwarranted. I know I can speak to Mr. Turnbull up there. He was witness to an accident out on Bucks Bar Road involving a slam bang who got, apparently there was no shoulder on the road, dropped his trailer in a ditch. It could have been a nasty situation. Had I been lowered down, the guy would have gone and probably in the canyon. You're spending more on this silly helicopter that somebody wants than you're putting in a whole budget for a whole road improvement. And as our roads continue to fall, and that's why I got into this whole political situation, our roads are going to fail. And what fails first is the people that drive these roads every day. Sooner or later, somebody's going to go in one, and our roads are now becoming a liability to the county. Because if I went in one of these poorly maintained and I lost a family member, you bet I would be there to sue the county because of the lack of maintenance. You take Camino Heights up there by High Hill Ranch. Here's the white line, the fog line. Here's a ditch. Here's a ditch this deep that nobody's going to get into out of it if they go in that ditch. I don't know how people keep out of it when it snows. There are roads all over this county that are in serious need of help. And we seem to be throwing, oh, let's throw some chicken feed over there. Let's throw some chicken feed over there. We need some serious help for the roads of this county to help the people that are driving these roads every day. They're not the same people that were here and grew up here. They're not used to snow on the roads. I could take Pleasant Valley Road and you cannot find one section out there where they've ever replaced a culvert since I started driving on it back in 1967. Those culverts are failing. They have to fail. So I would suggest, and I hopefully you will take it under further consideration, that we don't need it at this time. We don't need all this extra equipment going to the sheriff's office. And it's a well-known fact
Thank you,
that I'm
Brian.
critical of the sheriff's office. And the fact that
Thank
he
you.
just showed up
Brian,
with
your time's up. Thank you.
a new SWAT vehicle with a machine gun
Please
charge.
stop. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Seeing no additional public comment in the boardroom, now taking public comment from Zoom participants, now taking public comment from Chris.
Good morning, board. This is Chris from Diamond Springs. Glad to see you all. Just a couple of things. I'm the one who presented the item at the Taxpayers Association yesterday, and I was clear that the $1 million was included in the price. It wasn't an extra million. It was included in the price. We did talk about the taxes. I led them to believe that the taxes were related to Florida. I'm glad there's clarification today that it's not, and because of that provision that allows us to be exempt that Supervisor Heidel just talked about. But questions that did come up though, and I hope you'll be able to answer, is how is the general maintenance of the helicopter handled, and will it be homed? Its home base would be or home location would be Placerville Airport. These were two things that I couldn't answer yesterday. The other thing is I text my son this morning with a picture of an example of the helicopter. My son flew a Bell helicopter, which he also showed me a picture of. They're similar, but different, and we have a unique ability here that this helicopter can deal with altitude. That is, the mountains are a factor in how these helicopters are handled, and this helicopter will deal with the mountains and altitude. Also, its lifting capacity, the ability to lift, is an important factor also that my son told me that is related to this particular helicopter. And I believe the sheriff has related that to the board in terms of the past discussion about this. That's pretty much my my comments for today related to the taxpayers meeting. But I wanted to know where the sheriff is. He looks like he's out hunting pheasant or maybe duck or something. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
There's no additional public comment.
So, Vice Chair, did you pick out any questions in there that maybe could be responded to, or just a lot of comments? Did you pick anything out?
Lori, Wendy had to leave the room. She got a phone call. I suspect it might be related to her daughter. So
very
she had
good.
to,
Thank you
she
for
had to
that.
exit. Yeah, for a short period of time. Not sure when she'll be back. So
Yeah, we're having a rough day today.
yeah.
But we'll do it. Sheriff, did you hear anything in there that was really a question regarding this item that you want to respond to?
As was talked in the first presentation, the maintenance and ongoing and operational costs, we presented as around $800,000 a year to start. We would pick up 400, board would pick up 400 for the first year, and then it would go into our annual budget that way. We believe that's going to be more than enough to operate the program with one helicopter. We already have the staff on site, like I stated. It will be housed in Placerville. We're hoping the Placerville Airport. We're working on that with the Placerville Airport as far as hangar space or development on that east end of the airport. Again, we have the money in our restricted fund balances to be able to help them with that, should the board approve that in the future. And then, yes, me and the sheriff-elect are out quail hunting right now.
Very good. Sounds like your dog is ready to get going.
Yes.
So with that, any further questions from the board?
Yes, we do have county council.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask for a slight modification to the recommendation. My office has been working with the sheriff's office to revise the agreement to address the confidentiality clause, just to make sure that we don't run afoul of our obligations regarding the Public Records Act. The vendor was willing to make the change, but it wasn't revised in time such that we could post the new version for today's item. So it's a very small change. And if I could, I would just like to ask that item number 3 in your action add to the end of it, and subject to minor modifications as may be approved by county council. And we will continue to work with the sheriff's office to make sure that when the undersheriff does execute the agreement, that it is the version that's been revised to address this one issue.
Sounds good.
Okay. And that's just easy to read into the record, right? When we approve it?
Yes, I would think so.
That's my
Kim's
hope.
got it,
Yes.
right? Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else?
I don't see anything else here. So with that, I'd like to move approval of item number 3 with an addition that the recommendation is subject to minor modifications as approved by county council.
I'll second.
Okay, Kim, roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Thomas, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Hydall, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Turnbull, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Novacell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Parlin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you for being here, Sheriff, to answer the questions and everything. Good luck.
Thank you all.
Have
Happy
fun.
quail
Have
hunting.
fun.
Yeah, have fun. So with that, we have 2 closed session items on our agenda. County Council, do you anticipate that we'll be reporting anything out?
I do not.
Okay. So with that, then the board will now recess into closed session to hear items 1 and 2 as specified on the agenda. Anyone who wishes to provide comments concerning those matters may do so at this time.
Now taking public comment on closed session items 1 and 2. Individuals will have 3 minutes to address the board. The timer will notify you when you have 30 seconds remaining to comment. Public comment will be taken first from those participating in the boardroom and then from those participating through Zoom. For those participating by Zoom, please make sure you unmute yourself when called upon. If you're joining the meeting by phone, press *9 to indicate a desire to comment. If you're joining by Zoom, press the raise hand button. Please voluntarily state your name for the record.
I don't see anyone in here. Lori.
And now taking public comment from Zoom participants. There's no public comment.
All right, with that, we'll recess into closed session. Thank you, everyone.